I'm meteorologist Marcus Bailey. It is a Monday, August 25th, 2025, as we get going here, the last full week of meteorological summer. I know, hard to believe here, although what a significant pattern flip over the last couple of days, and we are now feeling a lot more like fall across our area. And I think that trend is only going to continue as we go over the next several days. Radar right now for your Monday is showing a good cluster of showers and thunderstorms in the central high plains. Looks like up in southwestern Arizona as well. And then parts of New England, you've got a little bit of rain, some sporadic showers over towards Florida, but a lot of the country is dry. There are some flood watches right now and flood advisories that are in effect for parts of Oklahoma and Kansas, likewise in Colorado and New Mexico, southern Arizona. A lot of heat issues right now in California and fire danger right now in Northern California and Oregon. There's also some pretty extensive extreme heat warnings for much of the Pacific Northwest, including Washington, Seattle, with some pretty intense heat going on. So all of that heat that the eastern half of the country had to deal with has retreated now completely to the west. In terms of severe weather, just a very low-end threat for some gusty winds in the southern portions of Arizona. And tomorrow, there's really no major concern for severe weather across the lower 48 states. Rainfall over the next 7 days, a lot of the issues are going to end up being out into Oklahoma. Some estimated numbers could range from 3 to 4 inches. You can see the area of red there. Arkansas, Missouri, and portions of Kansas, and right there in the kind of the Ozarks region there. So some flooding is possible. Heavy rainfall also down into Florida, from Tampa down to Miami. Locally around the Midwest, and specifically central Indiana, where we cover, not much rain. Latest estimates have gone maybe around 1/10 of an inch if we are lucky. I think it's even less than that. I think our next best chance for rain likely is Sunday of Labor Day weekend, and even then I'm not convinced that it'll be anything real significant. All right, to the tropics real quick. Not quite as active as when we were talking a lot last week, as Aaron was moving through the Atlantic and gaining steam. Right now we have Ferdinand. That is a tropical storm. Winds are around 50 miles per hour. Not anticipated really to strengthen much, and poses no threat to the U.S. mainland. In fact, it's probably going to get weaker as it goes over cooler waters. So no big deal there. And then we only have about a 10% chance over the next 7 days of some new development there in the Eastern Caribbean. So we'll watch that. But it looks like we might getting a little more quiet over the extended here for the tropics. Long range pattern for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You've got a big trough just continuing to dig in the eastern half of the country. That is going to continue. Maybe not as strong by the holiday weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Labor Day. You're not seeing those deeper blues. So the pattern's going to start flattening out for the eastern half of the country. Still pretty hot down in the desert southwest. You can see kind of more of that bright orange. So you're talking 90s still sticking around probably for quite some time. But I do think by the holiday weekend, we may not be at average, but we're getting a little bit closer to average, and that pattern is going to continue to kind of climb a little bit as we go into the coming days. Futurecast, these are the numbers for... Gosh darn it. Get that out of here. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, temperatures here across much of the Midwest, the Central Plains, even up to parts of New England. Low to mid 50s here for your Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, still pretty warm out in the west, even around Seattle, 66. Running a little warm here for this time of year. Tuesday, the high heat stays out west. Highs only in the low 70s for much of the Midwest, including here in Indianapolis. Wednesday morning, I think, will be the coolest morning that we will see here in central Indiana. I've got 52. But you can see a lot of Midwest communities are going to be in the low to mid 50s. There will probably be some outlying areas that hit the 40s, mid 70s for highs on Wednesday. And we'll continue that trend, I think, even through Thursday afternoon. You're probably looking at low to mid 70s. Something to keep in mind, our average high for this time of year typically is around 83, 84. So we're on about 10 degrees below average. Tuesday morning in Indiana, 51 for your overnight low in Indianapolis, and 50 on Wednesday morning. So those are the two coldest mornings that we have. And I think we could be pushing some records here. Tuesday and Wednesday specifically. Now, this is in Indianapolis. 51. The record is 48, so back in 1945. And then Wednesday morning, 50. The record also 48 in 1968. So we'll have to watch those carefully. Both of those records very, very much in jeopardy. Just in case you were curious, the average first freeze, we're still a long way off. And freeze, obviously, you have to be at 32 degrees or colder. All right. In central and northern Indiana, it's typically in early to mid-October. Later October in the southern third of the state. Our first frost also typically around mid-October. So that's 36 degrees or lower. All right. So we're a long way off. We're not getting anywhere close to the 30s here, but I think it's just kind of worth a mention of the chill. We're feeling a little bit more like fall across much of central Indiana and much of the Midwest in general. That's it for the webcast today. Always appreciates the likes, the comments, and the shares. We'll have another update coming your way tomorrow on Tuesday. Till then, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon, and God bless.